One of the biggest things holding players back when it comes to Apex is their aim. You can have amazing movement or game sense, but if you don't have the aim to back you up, you aren't going to be able to win your duels and you'll end up being hard stuck. And when you guys are first starting off, you may think that just putting in time and effort into the game will fix everything, and you're only sort of right. By playing more, you will be learning the legend abilities and all the maps, and yes, over time your aim will get better from those games. But at a certain point, you're going to hit a roadblock where it feels like no matter what you do, your aim just isn't getting better. So hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest, 8-Second Gaming, and in today's video I'm going to be breaking down some tips and tricks for you in order to break through those roadblocks and actually improve your aim. And I know that you guys are here to learn about aiming, and while learning that is important, in order to get better at Apex you need to learn all the other aspects of the game as well. And if you're looking to learn those, there is no better place than the GameLeap website. Over there we have top level coaches making highly informative guides all aimed at making you the best Apex player that you can be. So if you are struggling this season and you're looking to hit Diamond, Masters, or even Predator, click the link in the description, pick yourself up a membership, or I'll hide all your towels. But okay, now let's get back into aiming and talk about tip number 1, and that is to target the specific aspects of your aim. I'm sure that if you have bad aim or you're just looking to improve it, you've been practicing in some form, and that's good and all, but that's only good if you're actually doing the right kind of training. I see a lot of people that play Apex think that if they just go into arenas over and over, they will get better. You know, you get to face enemies with guns that you want to use, and there won't be any third parties coming, and you're also fighting people very quickly, so you get in a lot of fights in a short amount of time. So on paper it seems like a good idea, but the big issue with this is not a lot of players go into these with a purpose behind it. Now some do, but oftentimes I'll see players just hop in and run around without a care in the world. And on the flip side, the people that just go into the firing range and shoot bots mindlessly have the same issue. There isn't a goal in mind and you're effectively wasting your time. In order to get better, you need to be practicing specific areas of your aim that need to be worked on. Some of these aspects are strafing, crosshair placement, recoil control, and hipfire ranges. Let's say that your crosshair placement needs work. If you're in the firing range or arenas, you need to be mindful of where head height is on the legends. Because if you go around a corner and your gun is not at head height, you'll have to adjust your aim, and then that will make you miss shots and lose a lot of your 1v1s in return. Hard drilling into your muscle memory where that head height is will help you prioritize high quality shots and have you dealing more damage in fights off the bat. Even if you aren't able to kill someone, if you come around a corner and wingman headshot someone, that opens up opportunities for your team to push and finish the kill with you. And a great way that I like to work on my crosshair placement is to go into the firing range and stand near the dummies. I'll then go behind one of the weapon racks or maybe the rocks behind them just to break line of sight. Then I'll try to remember where their head height is and strafe back into view and compare. Over time, you'll start to get a better understanding and be better off in those situations. Now, tip number 2 we have is to take full advantage of information. Apex is a pretty fast-paced game and fights can be over very quickly. That's why I've always said in these videos that information wins fights. And you have a lot of legends that do gather information, some of them being Seer, Bloodhound, and Crypto. When you are gathering information and going into fights, you should always be looking at things such as the enemy's position, the enemy's habits, and what legends they're playing. All of those things will drastically impact fights and will be changing how you and your team should be taking those fights. By using this information, you'll be able to outbrain and aim your opponents. For example, if you scan a building and you see 2 people staring at the same door, it's best you don't run into that door. They will be getting the first shots on you and probably will down you because of that. With the information that you're gathering, you can push the less contested doors or windows and look for a new opening. And also, with the right information, you will be able to pre-aim certain angles. Like if you have a crypto drone scanning someone and you can see them approaching, you can then pre-aim that corner and already be prepared for them to come around. With this, you'll already know their head height and when they will be rounding that corner, getting good opening shots in and downing them before they even have a chance to register what's going on. Now, the next thing we need to talk about is tip number 3, and that is poor positioning. Yes guys, your position will affect your aim and cause you to lose fights. It happens to lots of low elo players. I see a lot of people in fights constantly peek the same angle. Someone will be shooting at them and they will just dip up and down and never move to a new spot. And by doing that, you are setting yourself up for failure because you're playing predictable spots or positions that the enemy has already seen before. The best analogy that I've heard for this situation is, imagine you're taking a test at school and your teacher has changed the questions just barely, but enough that it changes the answers as well. That is the exact same situation when it comes to positioning in Apex. You don't need to be making big macro plays changing your position every time. If the enemy team has seen the question before, they will know the answer, but if you've changed the answer slightly, they will need to be more careful when answering. Sometimes when players are having issues landing shots and are dying fast in fights, it's because they're making the question of where they're playing too easy for the enemy team. Switch up your position, keep the enemy guessing, and by doing so, the enemy is never able to confidently peek a spot knowing that you'll be there. Now, some of you may be confused on how this helps your aim, and it's because it gives you more time to land your shots. You don't have to panic and then snap to someone because your positioning already did all the heavy lifting for you. If the enemy is spending more time checking corners and unaware of where you actually are, you will be able to take a little bit more time to line up your crosshair and not miss those key shots to start off the fight. But now let's talk about tip number 4, your mental. I'm sure all of you watching this video at some point have been caught off guard and panic sprayed at someone just hoping that the bullets would land. Or maybe it's been down to a 1v1 against the last team and you've been too scared to peek or push anything. That is your mental playing with you and affecting your game. We've all been there. If you're anxious, you play differently than normal, and if you don't feel confident in pushing a team or to kill a solo, then oftentimes you won't be able to do so. Your expectations will become a reality, and if you don't think that you can do something, you are already setting yourself up for failure in that regard. Now, there is no Staples easy button to calm you down in fights. The way that you get over those nerves is to play the game, and when you get into those situations, identify what calms you down. Maybe this is just as simple as taking a few breaths before the fight, or maybe you want to have some low volume music in the background. But identifying a calming technique during those stressful fights will allow your mind to be more clear, and then you can focus on your aim. If you're freaking out, panicking, and not sure what to do, you're not going to be hitting those crucial shots and will end up losing the fight. And again, time and repetitions is best for this, but remember that having the confidence in fights is half the battle. If you go in scared, you'll lose most of the time. You should always be going into fights with the mindset that you're going to wipe the floor with these people. That mental will carry you a long way when it comes to improving your aim. And there are a ton of other aspects of the game to remember when improving your aim. So if you guys want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments down below. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you did and you want to stay up to date with the latest and greatest Apex Legends tips, tricks, and news, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. Thank you all for watching. Once again, I'm 8 Second Gaming, and I will see you in the next one.